name is Miranda, and today I'm here to review the Season 1 finale of Élite. Finally, it only took me 4 months to get here, but I am here. And like, honestly, I'm not too upset that like I dragged it out so long, because like this is what I wanted, because we still don't know when Season 2 is going to be. Like, it'll most likely be this year. But if I have to wait now till October, like at least now it's still 8 months, which is a long time. But you know, had I watched all of them that 1 week that it came out, I wouldn't know what to do with myself right now. So this finale, I think, was so good. Like, there were so many moving parts to it that were building up before we got to the last thing, you know? Like, we've been wondering who the murderer is for 7 episodes now. We've started knowing things about the Watch and about how Marina is on the outs with her family, and her and Nano have this whole plan to run away together, and there's just a lot of pieces that all came together really, really well in this finale. Like, Riverdale, take notes. First of all, I didn't know I've said this before, I didn't know who the killer was going into it. Like, I've read it on, you know, like Tumblr, and it's been mentioned in like fan fictions that I read, and I feel like, you know, if you wait 4 months to get to the finale of a show, like, it's kind of expected that you're gonna like get spoiled for it. So I'm not upset with that, and it kind of made it more interesting because I feel like I was able to pick up on things more than I would have normally. So let's just dive right into it. Polo ends up being the murderer, and I guess we could say just he didn't like full on mean to kill her, but he kind of, you know, just snapped and left her there. Like, it wasn't really stated full on, but they said she died from like blood loss, like she bled to death. So I'm assuming had he gotten her help or just been like, I found her like this, like they probably could have saved her. But like that whole scene of just like seeing her die pretty much is just so horrific and horrendous to watch. Like, when she just got smacked in the head, and then you could see her kind of like, she couldn't almost believe it. Like, she was like, wait, why am I hurting so much? Like, he was even like in shock, and she was just looking at him like that was someone who knew they were dying and was like completely in shock over it. And I just felt really, really bad for her. I feel like I've said in the past couple episodes I'm not a super fan of Marina, just with like the choices she's making and everything like that. But I feel like she turned it around this episode, you know, and she really was trying to make amends, kind of, and she wanted to stick it out instead of just running away and taking kind of the easier route. Like, Sam convinced her that like it's better to stay and work through it and try and get a life here, because she has a pretty good life here. I mean, aside from all the crap that she pulled, like if she can get it back and kind of start a new life here, she would be better. So I did feel bad, because, you know, also when she's like laying out there and bleeding and literally dying in Nano's arms, like all I could think of was she's a 15, 16-year-old girl. Like, she has her whole life ahead of her. She made mistakes, but like, what teenager doesn't, you know? And it was really, really sad, because it was like she's never gonna have a chance to fix those. She's never gonna have a chance to get married or, you know, experience first love all over again. She's never gonna get to see her child if she was gonna have children. She's never gonna, there's so much she misses out on now, and it's all because of one random act that Polo did. And the most heartbreaking thing to me too was how, first of all, everything Marina was throwing at him was 100% true, and Polo realized that as soon as he walked in with all like the blood on his hands and everything, and walks right into Carla and Christian, you know, just getting it on. Like, he realized that like Marina's right, like Carla doesn't want anything to do with me, this isn't gonna do anything. So that was heartbreaking, because you could see where like when he just like screamed in rage, I think that's where he realized it. He's like, I just killed someone because she made me so angry and I snapped, but everything she was saying was true. So that was heartbreaking. But then what really, really broke my heart was like the whole reason he was going after the Watch, and Marina even said it was to win Carla back and have like this big grand moment of like, she'll fall back in love with me. And who was the one that gave him the idea to stop talking and do action? Guzman. So like, essentially, Guzman was the one that kind of put this idea in his head. Not saying at all that Guzman is to blame, because he's 100% not. Like, I mean, how many of us get pissed off at friends and stuff like that and are like, you know what, they can deal with it on their own and nothing happens. Like, it's not his fault that this so happened to be the one time that something actually happened, you know, and I feel really bad for him. But at the same time, I feel like that's gonna come up, like, that he was the one that kind of gave Polo this idea of like, do something, like do a big grand gesture, and that's why Polo went to go get the watch, and that's what led to it. So that's really all I could think about, because I was like, that's so heartbreaking that at the end of the day, like, obviously, like, Polo made his choices, but he's doing this, like, grand gesture, which is what Guzman kind of suggested him to do, you know? So, like, again, not saying it's their fault at all, but, like, there was a connection between, like, him saying, like, you need to do a grand gesture, and then Polo being like, I'm gonna seal back the watch, that'll get her back. Like, that broke my heart so much, and I'm really wondering how season 2 is gonna be, because there's so much now to it. There's Polo, Carla, and Christian are kind of in this, like, 3-circle thing, and I don't know, like, I still don't hate Carla. I feel like what she's doing is terrible, but at the same time I understand, like, her point of view of, like, you killed this girl for me, like, I'm gonna protect you, you know, stuff like that. Like, I get that point of view. Not that it's right at all, but, like, I kind of understand where she's coming from. It's just, you know, what pissed me off is her dad is like, oh, is everything all right, darling? Like, now he's worried about her after he was, like, yelling at her that she ruined the family and stuff like that at the end, and it's, like, all the shit that's happened and literally have ruined a family's life and killed a girl. Like, now you're gonna be like, oh, is everything all right, darling? So I'm wondering how Carla's gonna be, because, like, it is terrifying that she's so calm and still, like, just like, this is what we're gonna do, this is what we're gonna do. Christian and Polo both look like they're about to crack like eggs in a microwave, so it's gonna be very interesting. Every freaking time Polo was near Guzman, like, comforting him, I was like, back the fuck off. Like, it was just so disrespectful. Like, it literally just made me, like, feel yucky, like, watching it, like, knowing what we know. And it's just, I really hope it comes out in the 2nd season that Polo is the killer, because I just feel like this can't be dragged on too long. Like, I just feel like he needs to be brought to pay for what he did, you know what I mean? And Guzman needs to, I don't want to watch a whole season of Guzman relying on Polo and being like, how could this happen, blah, 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 knowing that, like, that's your sister's killer. So, like, that needs to come to fruition. Like, it needs to come out. And I didn't, someone mentioned this on Tumblr, like, a while ago before I even got to the season finale, but we have 3 known high-skill swimmers on the show. We have Guzman, Lou, and Nadia. So, the fact that the trophy's in a lake, like, that could be that one of them finds out. I'm thinking the one that would make most sense is if it was Nadia, because that would be a good way to bring her and Guzman back together. But I really hope that's something that comes to fruition, you know, because I feel like that there's a reason, like, they showed us it in the lake, I feel like, and it's just, it's so horrible, because it's like, now Nano is in jail for it, and Christian knows, and that's, like, his best friend. Like, Christian was better friends with Nano than he was with Sam, and Sam's standing there being like, you know he didn't do this, like, we need to figure out a way to prove he's innocent, and Christian's just like, what can we do? Like, you just have to, like, let justice work. It's, you know, like, totally just, like, blowing him off to be with, like, I don't even know if it's just, like, he's scared of what Carla can do now, or if he really, like, would throw a friend under the bus just to, like, be in the in crowd or something like that. Like, it was just horrible. Like, I haven't liked Christian at all, but, like, that moment I was just like, wow, like, you're really, like, he feels guilty about it, but at the same time you're still doing it, you know, and, like, you're letting your best friend take the fall for something that he didn't do and that kind of ruined his life, you know? Like, he was gonna run away with this girl, start a new life. Like, I can't imagine what he must be feeling. There's just so much this finale that was just so intense, you know? And I just feel like it was so well done. Like, they set it up originally so, like, the detective was laying out, like, what happened. Like, you went into the pool, 9:30, you had a fight with her, you hit her in the head, and then throughout all that, like, things were set up that way. Like, you saw her go in the pool, and you were like, oh no, this is, like, when it happens, and you kept being like, just leave, and then I really liked how they set it up, so, like, Sam went in, and then, like, he picked up the trophy and was, like, walking behind her, and they were kind of setting up so, like, you know, you thought it was him, but then they really, like, focused also when he placed it down, and that was, like, him, like, them being, like, it's not him. Like, when he placed that trophy down was the show saying, like, it's not him. So we were just kind of like, oh, like, on the edge of your seat, like, girl, get out of there. And, like, it's just so many things. Like, had Guzman gone to talk to her, had Nano been a bit earlier, had Sam been like, come out with me, like, don't stay in here by yourself, or if Sam had stayed with her or something, like, there's just so many little choices that could have changed what actually happened. And I am so worried for Guzman at the end, because, like, that whole scene where he was just, like, wanting to jump, I was like, oh, like, even just, like, the way he, like, jumped up there to get up there, like, if he had just leaned forward a little, like, off balance, he would have fallen, and it was so crazy. And it was just, ugh. And even like he hates Sam even more now, and I was actually really impressed with Sam at the end standing up for himself when Lou was like, if you know what's good for you, like, don't come back to school. And she wasn't saying it in a mean way. She was just like, Guzman will kill you, and like I'm trying to like keep him from killing someone. And he was like, you think you like own everything, and like you really don't. Like this goes above all of you. You know, like it's something bigger than any of us. And then he was just like, see you in class if they'll let you back in. Like I was just like, yes, Sam, like this is what we need, is like these rich people aren't above or better than anyone else. And I feel like Sam is finally like just kind of like out of F's to give. But also I'm worried that like he's turning more into Nano, and that worries me, you know, kind of just that like screw this like elitist BS stuff like that. So that worries me. But we'll see in season 2, which we again still don't have a date for. I want to know when it comes back. And there's also like 3 new characters that are going to be introduced. So like in terms of at the end, I was thinking about like who is the best off. And I think Lou literally is in the best position going into season 2, because like she's pretty much exactly back where she started. She is Guzman's confidant, right-hand man. Like he's fully needing her and relying on her again. But last, like the one I'm most worried about is Guzman going into season 2, because he's just racked with guilt and grief, and that's not a good combination. And the fact, like, I can't even imagine what's going to happen when he finds out, if he finds out, that Polo is him. And I feel like the longer that Polo hangs around him and comforts him, like, just, I can't even imagine that. That feels like a betrayal all over again. Like, first you, like, kill his sister, but then you're comforting him, you're showing up at the funeral, you're letting him rely on you. Like every single time he was doing that, like I said, I just felt icky. Oh, it's just so messed up. So if you've seen the finale of Élite, please feel free to leave your thoughts about it down below in the comments. Also make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And I will see you guys next time for season 2, whenever that comes out. Let's hope it's soon. So thank you guys all so much for watching all my reviews of season 1 and leaving your comments and your thoughts. It was so awesome, and I'm so excited for season 2. So yeah, I'll see you guys then. Bye!